Dry Creek Vineyard was founded in 1972 by my father, Dave Stair. He was the first winemaker to come to Dry Creek Valley after Prohibition. Our first vintage of Chardonnay was 1972, and we produced 300 cases. It was my father's first vintage, his debut release, and it was a single vineyard wine made entirely from Robert Young's famed vineyard. Today, it's really like we've come full circle. We're going back to the roots of the winery. And about 10 years ago, when my husband Don and I took over the family business, we knew that if we were going to be serious about Chardonnay, we had to have our own estate property in the famed Russian River Valley. That was essential.
And it's really become a world-class growing region for Chardonnay because it has the right combination of climate and then the soils that we have. Some nice clay loam soils that just seem to be particularly suited to growing top-quality Chardonnay.
It has taken us over 10 years to identify this one little section of the vineyard in the northeastern corner that produces the best fruit for the style of Chardonnay we want to produce. And the rest of the fruit we sell. Over 90% of the vineyard is sold to others.
And along with that, we're doing some different practices in the vineyard to really regulate yield so we get nice concentrated fruit.
So as a result, we have reduced the production of this wine down to just a scant 1,250 cases for the world.
The key element in making any fine wine is that you don't understand all it has to offer in the first sip, but a glass later you're seeing some new nuance, and this wine really has that. We can use a wide variety of yeasts. I like to use some wild yeast fermentation along with some of the yeasts that we know are tried and true that we can inoculate with. So you get some of that complexity of the wild yeast fermentation and also make sure that your fermentation finishes.
I like Chardonnays that are extremely well balanced. I like them to be ripe and voluptuous and lush, but I also like them to have backbone and acidity and sort of a vibrancy.
Barrels are really important to Chardonnay because it's so easy to get a barrel that just tastes like fresh cut wood or kind of overwhelms the wine, and I'm looking for it to be a spice, not a main ingredient.
We've worked very closely with our coopers to design specific barrels for this wine, and this is something we've never done before, have barrels made particularly for one single wine. I wanted the very specific vineyard information, some of the winemaking information, what we call the artisanal or geeky information right on the front of the label to show the world that we were producing a wine of this caliber.
I like the Estate Block 10 Chardonnay because the flavors are very focused and it reflects the care that's gone into the making of this wine.
My vision for our Chardonnay is really very different than it was 10, 15 years ago here at the winery. It's really based on a passion to produce an extremely high quality, world-class Chardonnay. No matter what, no compromises.